Please welcome Elaine Hausman, Video Performance Coach. Elaine is a Juilliard-trained professional actor with multiple credits in leading productions, including recurring roles on Falcon Crest and Nip Tuck, Broadway plays, and movies. She has acted opposite such luminaries as Kevin Kline, Sigourney Weaver, and Amy Irving. During this time, she honed her skills for being watchable and projecting credibility. She also took her training behind the camera, learning visual composition, and spent over 22 years as a consultant for luxury brands, helping them successfully convey the cachet of their products. Elaine is with us today to discuss how to project our best selves on Zoom and how to make sure that our message isn't lost in this new medium. Welcome, Elaine. We are so thrilled to have you.
Kelly, that's one of the nicest introductions anyone has ever given me. I thank you. It was wonderful. I appreciate that.
We are so grateful that you are joining us today. This is such a hot topic, learning how to project our best selves and how to really come across professionally on Zoom. I love it. And so I do have a question for you.
Please.
I've heard you say that Zoom is our friend. Can you tell me more about that?
I really do say that, Kelly. We want to make the most of this medium. And I know you and I may have several conversations, and we're really starting out with Zoom, where it's really become a foremost form of communication now. And the reason I say it's our friend, before the pandemic, maybe we were in Zoom for an interview. And that was totally an understandable form of communication. It's how we were interviewed. But generally, if we were going to do a video, we'd be on our phones with our back camera with the best resolution, or maybe a DSLR camera. And that was sort of the normal for producing a pre-recorded video, even if we understood that maybe live video still happened to Zoom or live on any platform. And then the pandemic happened. And then we saw movie stars zooming in from their homes, gathered together in a commercial, or an expert zooming in from their home to talk on the news. And a new normal happened. And a new visual normal happened because we got used to a new resolution that became acceptable. There's something acceptable now. We recognize that it isn't, a movie or television camera quality. Even commercials, are really allowing that to seep in, direct from Zoom from someone. So I think it's really allowed actually some ease and kindness in terms of not just being in a Zoom workshop or a Zoom interview, but that we can really use Zoom right where we are, right at our desks, with fewer bells and whistles than the tripod and getting whatever, and just record from here. And that when we use it on social media, it's respectable. And I think it's how it's our friend, just making it that much easier for us to record at any moment, right when we're at our desks.
I am actually blown away by that insight because you're absolutely correct. And I really thought there was a paradigm shift with YouTube when people went to YouTube and being able to record at home and show their expertise and all that. But this is another quantum leap in being able to bridge the gap between professional production and being able to get your expertise across and communicate with your audience. I love this.
We want our message out there. And I'm the first to say, I do either workshops or free question and answer sessions all about video. You can come, ask me anything you want. And a lot of times it's also a question of looking at the participants as I help them and determining, okay, the camera in your computer, it's great. Or, you know what? It's not quite good enough. Get yourself a webcam, because we do want to be able to see you clearly. So there is that added step you can take in terms of using Zoom with a webcam and knowing that difference. But nevertheless, it's a new kindness for us. You know, it
I love
really
that.
allows us that much more freedom.
So on that same topic, how do you get camera ready when you, I mean, yes, when you're going to do a video and you're going to put that out there for the public to see, but also let's say that you are in a meeting at your job, how do you be prepared to go live on Zoom?
Showing up and how we show up, I always thought it was important, but I think it's even more important now, even with people doing job interviews via Zoom. And if you can get this medium to work for you, I am positive it will add that extra layer to give you that extra leap to have really come across professionally and really prepared and really showing yourself. But the basics of how we show up. First of all, we want to be seen. We want to be heard. Yes, we need to be lit. And being in the shadows, we lose you. We aren't informed enough about how you are or who you are. And we want to see you. So visually, we want you to make it easy for us. So whether you're getting an LED light or whether you're getting the Loom Cube from Zoom, and yes, it could be right in your face. There is a little diffuser and all of these things. Get some light on yourself, even if you have the luxury of light in your room or facing a window, or just the standing lamp from your living room and bringing it into your office or a hallway, wherever you are, whether you're sitting or standing, to be in Zoom, just so you can get some light on yourself. And yes, as you move along, you want to get it even that much better and, really finesse it. Wonderful. But most important of all, get some light on yourself.
I
Next.
think, sorry,
Please,
sorry
Kelly,
to interrupt,
please.
but I think that's the biggest thing that I see is with so many people, they're sitting in the dark. They're absolutely sitting in the dark, and uh, they're
It's
not connecting as well.
they're not connecting as well. And whether it's a lack of awareness or its own kind of hiding, we got to come out.
Right.
If you want to really be here and have some credibility and have people respect your showing up, you got to be seen. Now, we also want to be heard. And there's a couple of aspects I want to talk about in Zoom in terms of being heard. Yes, whether I'm on my webcam or just on a camera computer, oftentimes in Zoom, the sound can be very good. It can work just fine. But if you try recording, that's another thing. And when you're recording something, granted, that's one thing, participating in a webinar or participating in a workshop you're giving. But if you are being interviewed, if you are using Zoom for recording, you want to take it up a notch. I have a phenomenal lavalier that, worked perfectly in my phone. And it gives that, all of a sudden you'll fall in love with your own voice. It sounds like you're on the radio. It's amplified beautifully. But guess what? I have clients using that lavalier mic, plugging it into their computer. It works well. I've got a Lenovo. I plug it in. It only recognizes it as a headset and it's kind of doing nothing. So, I'm always over here researching things, and I have my newest toy that's hiding right here. I'm not somebody who wants a big podcast mic. I'm not a podcaster. I don't want that big mic. I'm doing things a little differently visually. So I want mine hidden, but I also want my sound to be good. I want that feeling of some amplification and that it's just not room sound. So I'm over here playing the mad scientist. And yes, I've got a new one I really like. So it's like anything. The coach is, making all the mistakes for you so you don't have to. And believe me, I've made them. But you want sound. Now, maybe right head to head as important is how you frame yourself. And here up, we need more information. We want, just a little bit more of the chest, just knowing you got a heart and lungs. It just kind of fills in some blanks for us. And not only that, when you get that frame down a bit, you really have the opportunity, if you want it, to claim your space, to really own. This is real estate, and you want to own it. You've got some environment going on here. You not only want it to speak for you, but you want to claim it. And it's not just for the people watching you. When you get grounded, when you really take your space and claim it, you change. You will see yourself differently, and you will start experiencing that credibility, more authority. And I think that really is part of the journey, because this is a visual journey. There are tips, there are tricks, and then there's the journey. And part of the journey is beginning to really own where we are in here and who we are in here. I've talked a lot, Kelly. Get on in here. I talked a
Okay.
lot.
So I want to do a visual. If I move back and I'm like here, you see more of who I am, but this is too far, isn't it?
I agree with you. And there's sort of like in between, maybe just a tiny bit back before the buttons show. I'm already happier there. Although I really have I mean, sometimes people say a talking head. I have to tell you, I don't entirely mind that. Granted, we don't want just here, but we do want some more information. We want you in relationship to your environment. By the same token, there's a lot of authority that happens in the width of your shoulders. It's a kind of claiming your space too. So what isn't necessarily always longer, width helps us too, which also reminds me that vertical, people sometimes appear vertically, and
Right.
it's respectable. But I want more information. I just want to, open the space up. And if you've got it, take it. Providing you don't have to hide something in the room. And that's fair. That's fair. But I
So,
do love, the space. Go ahead.
actually, let's talk about green screens, because when you talk about hiding, that's that's what we're talking about.
It's
Sorry, I was just going to say,
please.
I'm not thrilled. I mean, my background is nondescript. We all know that, but it doesn't have any personality. So I think I could absolutely benefit from a green screen from that perspective. But I think more than that, a lot of people have very busy environments, especially because they're using their space in multiple ways during this time. So can you talk about virtual green screens and real green screens and how you would use those?
Wonderful.
This is one of my favorite topics.
Oh, good. We're going to even do some show and tell. First of all, with your background, you are making the best use of your actual environment. And even though there may not be a lot of information there, I think you have a lot of information, Kelly. So I think you are making, and I'm sneaking peeks at you because we're going to talk about finding where you look later. But I'm sneaking peeks at you because you're not in my lens. But this does, in its very own way, serve you. And when I see that beautiful crystal container behind you, I'm almost getting into some shabby chic. I haven't said that in so long, I can't even say it. But there's something beautiful about that. And if that was showing more, I wouldn't mind it. Granted, I know that white sometimes is harder for the camera in that it won't necessarily pick up our skin tones as easily. Nevertheless, I have no problem with white. I believe you're making it work very well. It's clean. It has its own quietness, so I like it. But what we're really talking about in terms of green screens is the fact that not everybody lives in a home or an office or has a hallway or any kind of nook in their home that represents their brand, and I don't. So I use a green screen because behind me is my kitchen, and I am not a cooking chef or a coach or anything like that. So I use a green screen because I need to create an environment that does represent me. And clearly, here we go. I'm a little artsy. So there is that need for me. But let's do a little play because I want to talk to you about a real green screen and a Zoom virtual green screen. And the two are, I'm getting into my library here, do very different things. First of all, I'm going to frighten you and say, I don't have a green screen. Now, this is what we see in Zoom. All of a sudden you're a cookie cutter, and all of a sudden, I always think this is just perfect, a brand for anybody, haunted house hunters. It's like ectoplasm or something. I think it's perfect for them. But does it do us justice if we really are there to represent ourselves? Because there is some aspect that it doesn't do us justice. It is distracting if we are, and this is actually pretty good. Many people's are far worse because it's completely virtual, like there's really no real green screen. And I will show you, I have a green screen, and this is what it looks like. This is a real green screen. It's a simple fold away frame and piece of fabric that goes right into my closet. It is so simple. But let's play. Maybe I want to be very, very quiet. Maybe do I want brick today? There's all kinds of things like and this is something I've done a video with. It's right for me. Do I want to do that in an interview opposite how I know you are going to be looking? Not so much. There's too much information. I want it quieter. So I chose this, which is also something I use when I'm working with my clients, just to have some quiet. So there is interest there, there's environment, but it's almost like we're a bit enclosed as we think together and work together. And I can certainly show you the Golden Gate Bridge if you need it, because we've all seen that. But that is that real difference between a real green screen and the virtual, where we've got Zoom technology just isn't there yet.
I love it. And I think the green screen, the cost isn't exorbitant, is it?
No, and there's a couple of kinds. The one I have is $129, and I got it on Zoom, and I bought my little warranty.
Or Amazon?
Where did I say?
Zoom. I was like,
No. There's some on Zoom. I'll talk to you about that too. I got it on Amazon, and I even got the warranty, and something wasn't quite right with it. They gave me my entire money back to get
wow,
a new one if I wanted. So it was really wonderful. This is maybe 129. There's one on Zoom. It fits behind your chair. Unless it's large, which will allow for this kind of environment. Some of the smaller ones, you really are just your head in the frame. But
yeah,
there are pros and cons to it that I have heard. I've had 2 people tell me, Elaine, I wish I never got it. It absolutely is impossible to recoil and fold away, and it's continually sitting there. I've had people say they love it. I've had people, there's a lot of pros and cons to it. But there
that's the
are
type
green
that goes
screens.
behind your chair.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
kind that goes behind your whereas this is on a frame, you put it on the hooks, it's stretched there, and I put it away like a piece of luggage.
great. That sounds really good. But you can absolutely see the difference between, in fact, just the, I was looking at your hair, and the fact that your hair shows all the nuances of all your curls on the on your green screen, but the virtual green screen just isn't able to have that same level of detail.
You are mentioning something so important. People like yourself, people with smooth hair, are going to have an even better time with a real green screen. Because even with curly hair, there can be this slight quality of crinkling because light is being seen through the hair. And it does mean that you need a little bit more light here to help the green screen really work. I'm going to show you something. I'm working with my new uh, mic, and guess what? I've got some working to do with it because I just hope I didn't create sound problems. I'm going to turn one of my lights off. Now you'll see here, all of a sudden, there's this little breaking up stuff that's going on there. The nature of the window I'm facing doesn't account for enough light. So that little touch of light, and all of a sudden everything's perfect over there. So, but you're right. For people with hair like mine, we have that much more to deal with. So a real green screen, getting the light on you properly makes it all work. And again, smooth hair like yours, you're going to have much less problems. It's going to look great.
That's wonderful. And people don't necessarily, I mean, people can go with an environment like mine. They don't need to go out and spend money day one, correct?
No, quite honestly, if you can find a white wall, granted, somebody sooner or later is going to say white walls are boring. Well, maybe they are, but it doesn't mean. A lot of it has to do with who you are and what you want to say. And maybe there's something you're very clear you want to say, and a white wall won't do it for you. And then you really think about, what do I want? And if you use a green screen, the one thing about a green screen is this is an actual painting. I took a picture of the painting and I used it, uploaded it as an image for my green screen. A lot of real paintings I've used behind me in a lot of my videos. That's sort of what happened for me. But it depends what lengths you want to go. I just want to say you can do so much without having to spend a lot. So you can make things work. Would I be going out and buying an incredible backdrop that I thought would work for my brand with every single thing I was going to ever do, with every appearance, and spend $200? You bet I would.
Yeah.
But not if I thought it was going to change, that it was going to morph, and might want to do something that, you know, gave me those options without that expense. but it, you know,
Yeah, but you definitely don't have to start out with a big expenditure of money. You can find a mic at a bargain price if you need a mic. You can,
this that I have used on my phone that is so brilliant, $20. This one I just got, and I better learn how to use it better because I'm hoping I didn't knock it too much and create noise during our recording. This is 20 something dollars. And I think there's even an extra coupon for it. But uh, the bells and whistles, you can find things that are well priced. And I'm gonna give a little bit of information at the end. I'm going to share something
okay.
for
I'm
even more
excited. I'm
information on
looking
that. Yeah.
forward to that. Good. So, um, let's talk about streaming from Zoom to Facebook Live,
Yes.
something that we're both very familiar with at this.
Yes, we are. I very, we found out some things today with different platforms,
Right.
and it's certainly true of Facebook Lives. I'm going to tell you the difference. Okay, streaming from Zoom to Facebook Live, wonderful, easy, and guess what? It allows for you, just like in Zoom, to have the use of a green screen. Now, I am the first to say zooming from zooming and streaming to Facebook Live is not going to give you nearly as many views as it will if you use their platform and go live. Now, knowing that, it makes you want to do Facebook Live direct. And I get that. And guess what? Here's the downside if you use a green screen. It will not translate your green screen. So you will be on Facebook Live with your green. And if that isn't your brand, if that isn't how you want to show yourself, it's disturbing. And ultimately, what I will do is I'll get out my white screen or go outside. Or, I'm actually going to do something using my real home, even though it's not my brand. So those are those pros and cons. And also finding out, here we were using a platform today and Kelly was just at the control. I mean, there's a reason why she's the CEO. I have never felt more safe, or I mean, just phenomenal. And there we were on her platform. And I had no picture behind me. It was just green. And all of a sudden I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to show your audience what we're here for today in many aspects. And so we had to reconfigure, and God bless her, she took the controls and did that. But you have to think about, with various programs, what will they allow for? So
Yeah, I think
there's
that's
pros
a
and
big deal, and
cons.
it's probably well worth double checking if you're doing something that's mission critical to
Yeah,
make sure that the setup, which trust me, did not occur to either one of us until we were in the thick of it today. So
exactly.
yeah, so it was a lovely learning experience, and we're now experts. Um, so that's a huge amount, and I know we've barely even gotten started. I mean, there's so many questions I want to ask you, but do you have any final tips that something to kind of bring us back around?
Wonderful. There are more things we can talk about. Guess what? I'd love to come back and say more
And
because
I
there's more to
I think we
discuss.
need to have you back. There's no
I'm
question.
thrilled.
There's so much to
But
talk about.
I think coming full circle, find your spot. Create this template for yourself. And also think about, I told this to a client the other day and it hadn't dawned on her because I think she was stressed. And even though it may be obvious, I'm going to say it because sometimes we need to be reminded. If you know you want to do a video, Do it on a day where you happen to be on Zoom with a client, or where you know you're going to be for an hour in on a Zoom call or a webinar, so that you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel on the day you want to record. You know, getting ourselves ready, looking good, getting all the bells and whistles going. If you can, do it the same day you happen to be doing that for other things you're going to be doing, just so that you can make it as easy for yourself as possible. We want to get ourselves set so it feels like we can just flip the switch, because there's enough going on in our world. We've got a lot of things we're dealing with. We are looking for ease, and video is its own kind of hurdle for people in some ways. So you want to make the most ease when it comes to doing video within this framework.
I love that tip. That is great, because yes, if you feel like you need to get ready to do a video, if you have to prepare, if you have to, then all of a sudden it becomes a task and a chore, where if you just have to flip the switch and your energy is already up, then it's wonderful. It's so much easier.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Going to our happy place. So now, this was a great conversation about Zoom. I know that you have so much more to share in terms of creating videos in other platforms, other spaces, helping people with how they look on camera and how they project on camera, just the whole gamut. How can we contact you? How can we get more information? And do you have anything coming up that people might be able to participate in?
Wonderful. First of all, I'm ElaineHausman.com. And if you ever want to reach out to me, I'm Elaine at ElaineHausman.com. I give, other than December, where I'm kind of giving everyone a break, including myself, I give monthly video free Q&A sessions. We spend an hour. I have done everything from helping people in their frame, talking about what equipment they should get, or subtler things as well. And we spend an hour. You bring me any question you've got. And my next ones are Friday, January 8th, and Friday, January 15th, 11 a.m. to noon, Pacific Standard Time. I have a link I can share that I can put in the comments. But I'm going to do something, my mentor will be upset with me, but I'm going to do it. There is a back entrance to my website to see the gear I use and to see whatever might be useful for you, to look around in there and see, do I like Elaine's choice? Do I want to choose another thing? But if you're curious about the equipment I use, you can go to ElaineHausman.com/gear. It's a way to see that page without signing up to see that page. So I may be in trouble with my mentor, but you know what? Get on in there. It's my gift to you to look around and see if anything's helpful for you. And by all means, my free sessions where I answer questions, they really are valuable. Bring me your questions. Let's get them answered at no charge. So I'd love to have you.
I love this, Elaine. That is a huge amount of value and things that people pay hundreds of dollars for. So thank you so much. That's a real bonus.
Bless you.
This has been so enlightening. There's been so much information, and we're definitely going to have you come back and help us with our video performance. Thank you again for being with us today.
Kelly, I loved it. Thank you for having me. We were in it together.
Yes, we were.
Thank you.